With the crankshaft spec'd out, left and right case halves assembled with bearings, and the crankshaft end play, whether or not you need a shim. When all that stuff is done, next step is to assemble these case halves together with the crankshaft in between. Just a brief overview of what we need done. We'll get the crank assembly cold, get the PTO side warm. You can use a torch, a heat gun, sit on top of your wood burning stove, it doesn't matter. We'll get these two mated together. Once they're mated together, we'll get this new assembly cold. We'll get this side of the case half hot, and then we'll go and assemble that together. So today I'll show you how to do just that. Since it's freezing out in Minnesota, we'll just let the crank cool off outside. So I'm burning wood today. You put this side of the case half on top of the wood stove. Let it get really good and hot to where you probably need a glove to touch it, and you should be ready to mate the two together. After it's good and hot, using your glove, take it over to your workbench. If you need a shim, don't forget it to place it there. Pick up your crankshaft. Then what you'll want to do, slide the PTO in first till the bottom's out. You want to make sure that you have all your clearances and stuff in place, but there you have it. One side's done. One end is installed. And what you'll want to do, throw this half outside, get that all good and cold. Take this, put that on your stove, use your heat gun, whatever you got to do, heat this side up. And what you'll want to do is grab this, put your case sealer on this side, lay it down on the bench. And once this is warmed up, then slide this over your flywheel side of your crankshaft, and then your case halves should go together. After this is cooled off, throw this on your bench. I want to just set it on the bench. I found two 2x4s. Work pretty nice. Hold it. You want to make sure the mating surface on both case halves is clean. And I'm using Anaerobic Gasket Maker by Permatex. The book calls out for Loctite 515 or equivalent, and I found that this stuff works just fine. So what you'll want to do is start squeezing this out and put a thin bead all the way around, and then take a flat screwdriver and make sure all the surface is covered. Once you have it all the way around like that, just take your flat screwdriver and smooth it all out so the entire surface is covered. So there you can see the case sealer is completely spread out. Then you want to grab your warmed up case half, slide that over this, and install your bolts. You'll want to make sure on this side, on the stator side, you do include that O-ring on your crankshaft. So we'll grab the warmed up case half and we'll set it into place. So if it doesn't go all the way together and you get it down about that far, I'll show you what to do next. You'll want to take your bolts and go ahead and stick those in place. So you want to flip this upside down, put your 5 bolts into place, and what you'll want to do is just snug them up and then tighten them down just turn by turn, starting with this one. And you want to go to this one, then this one, and this one, and just keep turning them till the case halves come together. So we'll start with this one, give it half a turn. We'll go to this one, give it half a turn. This one, half a turn. This one over here, half a turn. This one up here, same thing. And as you do that, your case halves will come together. So I went around twice. You can see we're almost together. So probably go around one or two more times. One more time around, case halves did come together. For 350 and 400 models, you'll want to remember these two 6mm bolts below the oil pump. You want to snug those down. Once everything is snug and the case halves are together, you can tighten these down to spec. So for torquing the crankcase bolts down, you want to start with this 8mm here. Do this one second, this one third, fourth, this one fifth. Then for 350, 400 models, this would be 6th. This one here would be 7th. Now, the torque spec for these 8mm crankcase bolts is 17 to 18 foot-pounds, whereas here the 6mm bolts is 72 to 96 inch-pounds. So again, we'll set this at 18 foot-pounds for the 8mm bolts, and we'll do the other ones next. Now you have your case halves together, your crankshaft in between. If crankshaft seems to turn over kind of tight, it does help. Just tap on the PTO side pretty good, tap on the magneto side. But as a good rule of thumb, what you'll want to do is make sure you can at least spin the engine over by hand, turn the crankshaft over by hand, and if you can do that, you should be ready to roll. Next thing you'll want to do is rebuild the water pump side. Stay tuned on my next video. Thank you.